Hello everyone, I'm Anisha. Welcome all of you to my channel, that is virtual classes. So today in this video we are going to start your science chapter number 1 for class 7. Okay, and see, this chapter is basically an introductory chapter for what you are going to learn in your class 7 science. Okay, so just like in your grade 6 we have done an introduction class in your first chapter, isn't it? So this is same like that. So we are only going to see what we are going to study throughout the year in this year. Okay, so and today's class the explanation will be completely in English. If you want to watch in Hindi explanation, I have already uploaded that one. You can watch that. The link is in the description box. Okay, so and yes, don't forget to like, share and subscribe my channel. So let us start. So first let us read and I'll make you understand line by line. Okay, so the ever-evolving world of science. So we hope you enjoyed your adventure with curiosity in grade 6 and are now ready to continue our journey into the wonderful world of science. So this again is not just a textbook with facts, it is an invitation to questions, to perform experiments and to explore as we try to understand the beautiful world we live in. See as their textbook is welcoming you, okay, and they are hoping that you have enjoyed your grade 6. So now we are ready to continue our journey to the wonderful world of science, and this textbook is not just only about remembering the facts. Okay, it is an invitation to questions, to perform various experiments and to explore yourself. That means to create curiosity within you. That is why the book of the name is what? Curiosity. Okay, so and we are going to experiment, we are going to experience and explore more things about the place where we live in, that is our beautiful earth. Okay, so the world of science covers everything here. Okay, the world of science covers everything, small and large, near and far. We may be looking at tiny cells inside a leaf or the movement of the sun and the star. We may be testing out the material sounds around us at home or discussing how water flows underground. So we may discuss the science that we are going to study now. It covers almost everything. Okay, and it may be about small thing, large thing, near, far, or just a tiny cell, about a leaf or the movement of the sun, the movement of the stars. Okay, and their patterns and the materials which is around us, around our home. We are going to discuss how the water flows underground. Okay, so as we go through the chapter in this book, we will start new adventures that challenges your thinking, expand your knowledge and help you become an explorer, making small discoveries for yourself. So as we go through the chapters of this book one by one, you will start with a new adventure, okay, which will be little challenging for you as well as, and it will make you more knowledgeable. It will make your knowledge more expand. You will become a little explorer. Okay, and with that you can also you can also start discovering something, small things for yourself. Okay, so before we dive into our excitement journey, take a moment to observe something special about this book. Look at the page numbers. They follow the playful flight of a butterfly and the soaring of a paper plant. So the page number which is given in this textbook, okay, let me show here you. First, they are like, see here, some are of this butterfly and some are of this paper plane. Okay, and why they have created in this way? Because see, just as butterfly flutters freely and paper plane flies into the sky, learning takes flight when curiosity leads the way. So just like butterfly used to flutter freely in the sky, and when you make a paper plane and when you play with it, especially in a windy days, what happens? It flies into the sky very freely, isn't it? So just like that, what will happen? Your learning, your curiosity will also take that flight. Okay, that means will reach a height, okay, very high. And did you know something as simple as paper plane inspired real scientific exploration of flight? So this paper plane, okay, this is a simple paper plane which we used to play, isn't it? Which I hope you are also playing, and this inspired the scientist, okay, the scientific exploration of a flight. And yes, mention the names of the two brothers who have invented this flight first. Okay, and from the early inventors studying bird wings to modern engineers designing aircraft, the dream of flying started with simple observation and experiment. So these the inventors, okay, the early inventors, they started. So from where did the others they get this idea? See, in order to invent something, in order to discover something or make something, the most important thing is you need to have an idea about it, isn't it? So by looking at the paper plane, they got an idea, okay, we can also make something like this which will fly in the sky, and that can be see, and now in today's date we have so many flights, isn't it? So these inventions, okay, these inventions in early times, the early inventors, this lead them to do by observing simple things, okay, like just these paper planes, okay, and doing experiments. And it has taken so many years, okay, it has taken so many years for them to invent finally. So everything, okay, whatever there is in these in this world, whatever we have discovered, whatever we have done, okay, this all comes from observations and ideas. That is what I want to tell you, okay. Suppose for example, if you have wood with you, okay, and you don't have the idea of making a chair, so that wood is of no use, isn't it? So if you can make, if you have that idea of making that chair, then wood will be useful, isn't it? So that idea is important, okay, idea is more important. So as you turn each page, let your imagination takes flight. So as you turn all this page, each page, let your imagination, okay, imagination take flight, means make them high, okay. Exploring new ideas, discovering wonders, and reaching for the sky. So take flight by exploring new ideas, discover wonders, and reaching for the sky, means you have to be very curious, and you have to be interest within you. If you don't have interest within you, then what will happen? Even though your teacher teaches you very nicely, very properly, if you don't have interest within you, you'll not have any questions within you, isn't it? No questions will come out, no exploration of knowledge will be there. So you need to be very curious, your mind to be full of questions, okay. So here, see how these little children are playing with paper planes here, isn't it? So I hope you are also playing. Make sure you also play after this video, okay, after watching this video. So exploration, of course, isn't just about discovering new facts or learning about different things in nature. Science, as we said in grade 6, is a process, okay. So it is about a way of thinking that welcomes curiosity, asks questions, and is open to the unknown. See, exploration, it is not just about discovering new facts and learning about different things, okay, about the nature. Science is a process that we have learned in our class 6 also, in our grade 6 also. It is a way of thinking which welcomes us to be very curious. It makes us to ask so many questions. Why does happen? Why does this is happening? What is the reason behind this, isn't it? And as a result, what happens? It opens us, okay, it opens us to the unknown, means to the unknown knowledge, to the unknown world, okay. In grade 7, we will try to ask deeper questions. How do things work? Why do events happen the way they do? And what can we learn from the pattern that we see in nature? So in class 7, what we are going to do? We are going to learn even deeper, okay. We are also going to learn deeper questions. We are going to ask deeper questions, and like, how do things work? How even happens? Like, how are the patterns? What can we learn from the patterns of nature, like why the sun always rises from the east, not from the west, why always the moon rises from the same directions, isn't it? And why the stars are always there. This is a nature pattern, isn't it? So we are going to learn about them in more detail here, okay. So to do this, we have to step out of this book, step out of the classroom perhaps, and experience the world through activities and experiments. So in order to explore new things, in order to learn new things, what we need to do? We need to step out of this book, we need to step out of the classroom, and we need to experience the world, okay, and experience the world through so many activities and so many experiments. That is why you have so many experiments in science, isn't it? So these are experiences that we hope will not just be interesting or exciting, but also serve as stepping stones to a deeper understanding of the environment we live in and for our place on this planet. So the experiences which we are going to learn, which we are going to get, okay, it is not only interesting or exciting, but also it is going to give us a very deep understanding about the environment, about the place where we live, about your surroundings, about the planet where you are living. You will know more about the place, okay, where you are living now. So we believe that these will also help you to see science as an ongoing process of discovery. So science is an ongoing process. It can never be stopped, okay, because there are so many mysteries that are yet to be discovered in this world, okay. Only few had been discovered by scientists after working very hard for so many years. So that is why science is an ongoing process of discovery, okay, and not just about discovery alone, but also about responsibility. And not only about discovery, okay, it is about responsibility as well. As young science explorers, you will soon see how human activities are linked to what happened in the natural world and are connected to the society we live in. So after exploring, after being a young science explorer, okay, we'll also understand about the human activities and how they are being connected, how they are being linked with the world that we live in, with the natural world that we live in, okay, and the society where we are staying. You will also we hope also see the role that science can play in addressing environmental challenge and help in creating a more sustainable world. So we will also see, and we will also see the roles of the science, okay, important role of a science that science can play in addressing the environmental challenges, like we are facing about global warming, climate change, isn't it? So many changes are coming up, pollutions, isn't it? So science gives us solutions about all these things, okay. It gives a role, it plays a very role, and it gives us solutions about how we can cope up with these economical challenges, environmental challenges. And it also helps in creating a more sustainable world. Sustainable world means when we are creating a world that will be suitable for the future generation also, not only thinking about today's present life. We have to use the things in the earth, we have to do things in the earth that should be that the future generation will also be able to use it. Like we should not waste or exploit water, because there is a scarcity of water, isn't it? And we are being told to save water again and again, save the environment, save the water, isn't it? So we have to use it very wisely so that it will remain there in the world forever, okay. So sustainable world means when you are thinking about the future, when you are keeping things for the future as well. So but let's get back into this book. For now you will read about topics in different fields of science. So what we are going to read in these books, we are going to read topics from different fields of science like physics, chemistry, biology and earth sciences. While they might appear as different chapters, just as we said in grade 6, they are all interconnected. These might be this might feel that they are all from different chapters, okay, but all of these are interconnected, just like this we have learned in our grade 6 as well, okay. So scientific ideas in one area often inspire or discoveries in another, or at least allows us to ask question in another area. So the scientific ideas in one area, okay, if we discover something about one thing, what will happen? That discovery will again lead to another discovery, and another discovery will again lead to another discovery, means another question. So there are so many questions that will be pop up in our mind. So let's take a quick journey through our book for this year. We will start looking by properties of materials around us. So what we are going to learn first, we are going to learn about the properties of materials, mostly the things we experience by perhaps never asked questions about, like why are some fruits sour, what happens when we wash a haldi stain in our school uniform. So we are going to explore about the properties of materials around us, like by asking some questions, why some fruits are taste very sour when we eat them, and why if we have this haldi stain in our school uniform, what happens after washing also, still there are stains remaining there, isn't it? It doesn't go away quickly. So why does this happen? Okay, we are going to explore everything, okay. I hope you are enjoying it. So we then move on, play with some electric batteries, and after that we are going to learn? We are going to learn about some electric batteries, lamps and wires, and try to find another kinds of properties of materials, and what kind of materials do we need to make lamp glow. This will lead us to classify materials based on their properties, and we will enter the world of metal and non-metals. So what happens is that when we are learning about materials, okay, and when we are learning about electric batteries, lamp, wire, and trying to find out some properties of material, this will again leads us to classify the materials based on some are metals and some are non-metals. So we will discuss this in detail when we are going to do your chapter, okay. So we know from our experience that a torch battery runs and are eventually and can't be used again. We will explore what kind of changes happened around us. Some changes can be reversed, some other cannot be reversed. So see, these days we don't use torch as much as we used in our previous last 5 years or 10 years before, okay. There, what happens when a torch battery run out, okay, when the battery drains out, then what happened? We cannot use that battery, you reuse that battery. But these days what happened? There are so many rechargeable torch in the market, isn't it? But we are not talking about that rechargeable one, the one which runs with a battery. So once the battery drain off, what happened? That torch will not run. Like we have not only torch, we have the world clock also, isn't it? The world clock also we need the battery to run, isn't it? We don't recharge it, but once the battery is drained out, we need to again change. That means that that change which cannot be reversed, that are irreversible, okay. So we are going to learn about reversible and irreversible also, okay, changes which can be done and which can be undone. Like for example, here see, they are doing an experiment here, isn't it? So this candles is lighting. As the candle is lighting, what happened? Once the candle is full lighted, everything, there will be no more candle. That means you cannot reverse it again, isn't it? You cannot bring back the candle into life again. So batteries run out, ice melts into water, fruits ripen, rocks breaks into pebble. What kind of changes are these? So we are going to learn all about this in our further chapters. Okay. So why does battery run out? Why ice melts into water? Why fruits ripen very quickly, and why these big rocks breaks into pebbles, and what kind of changes are all these things. Okay. And some of these happen faster when things are heated, and these things happens when things are been heated, especially by sunlight. Okay. So we will look at how heat flows, whether it is the melting of an ice cube in a glass or the melting of a glacier. So we will be understanding how this heat flow. Okay. How this heat flows. We will be talking about melting of ice cubes, or ice cube in a glass, or a melting of the glaciers which are there in the Himalayan, isn't it? Here where the places which are been covered with snow every time. Okay. And when there is more heat, especially during the summertime, what happens? This glacier started melting, and that is why we are experiencing so much of climate change, isn't it? So water is of course everywhere, and with the heat from the sun, it evaporates from the sea and falls as a rain, perhaps trickling down into the ground somewhere far away. So we have learned about this in your class 6 also, isn't it? As water is everywhere, and there is a process which is known as water cycle, isn't it? When this water from the sea evaporates and it's turns into clouds, isn't it? And after some time, what happens again? This when so many clouds are formed again, this water which was been evaporated from the sea will again come down in the form of rain. Okay. So we are going to learn again more deeper about this in your chapters. Okay. So I hope you are getting it. So however, it isn't just changes in materials, okay, around us that we see, or the hidden change in water that we do not see. As we are growing, our bodies are changing as well. So it is not only about the materials around us or the hidden changes of the water in and around us. Even us, okay, even our bodies are changing very fast as well, especially when you are in your mid school at your age. The dresses which fits you last year might not fit you today, isn't it? And the school shoes which you are wearing in your last year in your class 6 doesn't fit you this year, because you are growing, isn't it? So especially around the middle school your age, okay, our bodies are changing rapidly. Why? Not just us human, there are life processes that are essential to all animals for their survival. So not only humans, okay, the life process, this changing process are essential to all animals for their survival. And to grow, we have to eat and breathe. Blood has to circulate the nutrients from the food all over the body, and so on. And in order to grow, what we need to do? We need to eat. We cannot simply stay without eating. We will feel tired, and eventually what will happen? We'll feel dizzy, isn't it? So we need to eat. There is a blood pumping inside our body. It is circulating all of our body, isn't it? And providing all the necessary nutrients after only when we eat healthy fruits and vegetables. Okay. And but why animals alone? This happens not only with animals, plants also eats. Okay, plants also grows. Okay, so don't plants also need food to grow? How do they get their food? Do they also breathe? How? Over the time the life has evolved, our planet Earth, it has figured out on how these beautiful and carefully balanced way. So we are also going to learn not only about the animals, we are also going to learn how these plants also need foods, and how do they get their food? Do they also breathe? Yes, isn't it? They breathe. And over the time, what happened? Life has evolved. This life has been evolved into this planet, isn't it? And has figured out how to maintain, how to do things in this world, beautiful world, and carefully in a very balanced way. And but what is time? So the clock on the world or the wristwatch tells us time and how it passes. So when you are asked what time is now, you can simply say, okay, it is 10 a.m. or it is 2 p.m. or 3 p.m., isn't it? But before, it was not like this, isn't it? Before the invention of time. So we are also going to learn about that. Okay, so there will be a separate chapter about where you are going to learn about these times and all. Okay. So we get prepared to go to school in the morning and are ready to sleep at night. But have you thought about how we measure time and how fast does something happen? So we get ready for school every day in the morning, and why not in the night? At night, what we used to do? We used to sleep, isn't it? Have you ever thought how and why is it so, and how this time is been measured? Okay, and how fast does something happens? So we are also going to learn about times and all. Okay, long before the age of electric clock and digital watch, early humans observed the shadow of an object in the sun and used the position of the shadow to tell the time. So before the invention of these electric clocks and digital watches, okay, what the early human used to do, they used to observe the shadows in the road, okay, in the ground, shadow objects, shadow which has been formed by the sun, okay, and they used to see the positions of the shadow and they used to tell the time. Okay, light and shadows are not just useful for shadow puppets or to tell the time. Naturally, light help us to see, and today we have developed a lot of ways to generate light, so we can read a book at night even without the sun does not shine. So here we are also going to learn about a chapter where light and shadow, okay, where we are going to learn about why does this happen, how does this happen, okay, and naturally this light help us to see and to read everything during the daytime, isn't it? And now we have been developed so much, technologically developed so much, that even at night when the sun doesn't shine, we can read by lighting on the bulb, isn't it? So, but more importantly, asking questions about the nature. Okay, so more importantly, what you have to do, you have to ask questions about the nature. Okay, nature of light has given us a very deep understanding of the universe we live in. So the important questions about this light, okay, this light have given us so much of deep understanding about the universe that we are living in. So we are going to learn about this light also. Okay, and while we are perhaps learn about it only later, light and shadows are not just limited to things around us at home. And these light, shadows, these are not only limited to our homes and all. Okay, even the earth, moon, they also cast shadow, okay, and their light formalized even there also. So even the earth and the moon can cast shadows, leading to the fascinating phenomena of eclipse. We used to say solar eclipse, lunar eclipse, isn't it? So it is all because of the shadow. And of course we have day and night, that depends on receiving light from the sun, and we have day and night, isn't it? In the planet earth where we live in, it depends on the earth rotation. It completes one rotation on 24 hours, isn't it? And there are two phenomena, revolution and rotation. Revolution means when there is a change of season within 1 year. One revolution is equal to 1 year, that is 365 days and 6 hours, isn't it? So we have learned this in our social science also in class 6 little bit. Here we are going to explore it in more detail. Okay, to understand all of this, we need to know how the earth rotates around its axis, how the moon goes around the earth, and the earth around the sun. So in order to understand what we need to know how the earth rotates around its axis. Axis means there is a fixed place where the earth used to rotate, okay, that is known as the axis. And how the moon goes around the earth, and how, because this moon is visible from the earth, isn't it? So how it is possible, how this is visible, and the earth around the sun, and how the sun is visible in the earth, okay, how we can see the sun every day, and the consequences of this movement in our life on our beautiful planet. So while all this might you have head spinning, think about it. Isn't it amazing that we humans can wonder about the wonderful world we live in? So thinking all these, hearing about all this, you might be a little confused also. Not okay, what we are going to learn, so many things are there that are yet we know, isn't it? So, and again, think like think, isn't it amazing that we are able to wonder about the things that where we are living, isn't it? The wonderful worlds, the wonderful things that is happening in our world. That means how, like, the intelligence, the intellectual level of human beings, okay, we are able to think. The animals are not able to think, isn't it? That humans are able to think. That is why they are doing so many discoveries and so many development, isn't it? So in the chapters that follow, you will also make simple observation and do fun experiments and dive into topics that need careful thinking. So in the following chapters, you will be doing some simple experiment, observations, fun experiments, and you will dive more deeper into the topic, okay, that need to be carefully think. And each chapter builds on what you already know and encourages you to ask questions. So each chapter, whatever you are going to learn, okay, they will somehow related with that you have with the things that you have already know or you have learned, okay. So that will encourage you to ask more questions, explore, do hands-on experiments, and think like a scientist. So you'll be more interested if you if a topic which has been taught, which you know about it something, isn't it? Then what will happen? You will be encouraged to ask questions. You wanted to ask questions, you want to explore, and again you will be again excited to do experiment also, isn't it? Just like a scientist. So as you will find out, even those experiment that seems to confirm what we think will happen might lead to some additional questions that might need more experiments and more questions. So what happens when we are doing some experiment? What happens when we are trying to confirm something about by doing some experiments? This experiment again might lead to some additional questions. This might lead to some additional information, isn't it? This might lead to some additional questions which will come in our mind, and this will again need more experiments and again not more experiments and more questions. So it is all about learning, okay, ongoing process. That is why science is known as an ongoing process. So now that was all about the introduction of the chapter. So now what we are going to do, we are going to explore something here, okay. So in school during test you are usually given questions and expected to find the answers, but let's turn that around. So what happens usually in questions, while in exams and all, you are being given so many questions and you are being expected to answer, isn't it? But here we are going to do some fun experiment, okay. Here, just like scientists, it is equally important to ask interesting questions. So great scientists don't just answer questions, they ask amazing ones. So great scientists not only answered the questions, okay, they also ask an amazing question. So remember, last year we have said to be a wise person you must be a wise person. So in our class 6 book of your chapter 1, there was a quotation, isn't it, where it was said to be a wise person, to be a knowledgeable person, what you need to be do, you need to be a wise person. Means you need to ask so many questions, only then you will learn so many things, you will enhance so many things which is about this world, okay. So look at these answers below. Your task is to come up with a curious, creative and fun questions or situation that could lead to these answers. So some answers are given here, so you have to make questions according to the answers, okay. You can make different questions for those answers. So there are never any wrong questions. So let your imagination run wild. So run your imagination and try to make questions for those answers, okay. Since such exercise might not be very familiar, here is an example to help you. Suppose the answer was just make it half. So suppose they have just given this answer, just make it half. So what will be the possible question here, okay? What could all be a response to? So well, it could be range from like, how do we ensure getting equal shares of cake, or my essay is too long, or I can't fit this in the envelope, or even I cannot dance to such a long song. So all are different, isn't it? So all the answer can be half, just make it half. If you are asked how do we ensure getting equal shares of cake, so the answer might be just make it half. And if you are saying my essay is too long, then my answer will be just make it half. And you are asking any question, if your answer is I can't fit into the envelope, then if you are asking something like this, then I can tell you just make it half, isn't it? So this can be the possible questions for the answer, just make it half. So here they have given us some questions, okay. So let us try to answer these questions, okay. Sorry, not answer, let us try to create some questions for this answer, okay. So let us see what kind of creative question you can ask. So you try to make question, okay. It is because if you are running your imagination, it will be good for you. I'll just give an example like how you can create. For example, the first answer here given is just add some milk. So what will be the possible questions for just add milk? If you say milk, the first thing comes to our mind is tea, isn't it? So you can just make the question like, how do I make my tea or coffee, isn't it? Or how do I make my oatmeal? So just add some milk. This might be the answer, isn't it? Next, because the cat teeth were crooked. This is the answer, okay. So what question can you make from here? Like you can just make, isn't it? What was wrong with the cat's smile? Because the cat teeth were crooked, they were not in a good direction, isn't it? They were crooked. So you can just simply ask, isn't it, what happens with the cat's smile? Or why didn't the cat have perfect dental health? So why doesn't this cat have a perfect teeth, perfect dental health? So just like that you can ask questions, okay. And the next answer here is, don't panic, I have a towel. So here don't panic, I have a towel. This makes you think that they might have gone somewhere, isn't it, for an adventure or something. So the possible questions which we can create here is that, what should we do if we get stranded on a deserted island? So another friend will be saying, don't panic, I have a towel. That they can show their towel and they can ask help, isn't it? So in that way you can prepare the question here, okay. Or what if we encounter a problem on our adventure? So like this. And last answer is 42. See, and here what they have asked us to do, please ask more interesting and not obvious questions like what is 32 plus 10, or even what is the answer to the life, okay, or even what is the answer to life, the universe and everything. So here you are been given answer 42, so they are asking us not to simply ask question 32, what is 32 plus 10. Okay, the answer is 42, isn't it? So make some creative questions, or you can ask like, how many chocolates were there inside the packet? The answer might be 42. Or how many cookies were there inside the packet? Isn't it? The answer might be 42. So you can ask some exciting questions like that. Okay, so with this we have completed your this first chapter. I hope you have enjoyed, and soon we will start with your chapter number 2. Okay, so stay tuned for that, and yes, don't forget to like, share and subscribe my class. Okay, so all of you have a very nice day ahead. Bye.